The main event, arguably the most important match of each show. To many, it doesn't matter how good the entire show is. If the main event falls flat, then it leaves a huge black mark on the entire show. Whether I believe that or not doesn't matter in this video. The most important thing for this video is the main event itself. When you think about Stardom's top card, you think Mayu, Momo, Kagetsu, and so forth. These are the people you think of when you think main event. In this video, I will be going over different aspects of wrestlers and their relations to the main event. I have 6 different topics to cover. Total times in the main event, percentage of times they personally won the main event, the percentage of times they won the main event, combining both the times they personally won and the time they won because of their team. The next is total losses, so the number of times that they lost a main event personally. Then the percentage of times they personally lost. Then finally the percentage of times they lost in total. This will only be covering 2018 and 2019, and just Stardom signed wrestlers. Their losses and wins still count if it's against a non-Stardom signed wrestler, but the only wrestlers to appear on any of these lists are going to be the only ones who are signed, as is tradition with all of my stat-based videos. Total. These are the top 10 Stardom wrestlers who have appeared the most in the main event in Stardom. Number 10. Natsuko Tora at 23 times. Number 9. Tam Nakano at 26 times. Next is a tie, number 7. This is a tie between Hana Kimura and Saki Kashima at 29 times. Number 6. Jungle Kyona at 30 times. Number 5. Konami at 33 times. Number 4. Hazuki at 39 times. Number 3. Mayu Iwatani at 46 times. Number 2. Momo Watanabe at 51 times. And number 1. Kagetsu at 57 times. As you can see, the top 3 is pretty much exactly who you would expect it to be, considering Momo and Kagetsu held the 2 main belts for a long time during the 2-year period. They would be in many of the main events. I think the biggest shocker for me would probably be Konami at number 5. She is the only one on the list who didn't really have any belts or anything super important until recently. It seems odd that she was in so many main events without title defenses. Win percentage. Next, we will be talking about the percentage of times a wrestler won the match themselves and not through association. Number 10. Hazuki at 20.51%. Number 9. Starlight Kid at 21.43%. Number 8. Arisa Hoshiki at 27.27%. Number 6 is a tie between Jungle Kyona and Utami Hayashishita at 30%. Number 5 is Mayu Iwatani at 30.43%. Number 4 is Saki Kashima at 31.03%. Number 3 is Momo Watanabe at 31.37%. Number 2 is Kagetsu at 40.35%. Number 1 is B. Priestley at 40.91%. The top 5 in this one surprised me a lot. For one, I wasn't expecting B to be number 1, but this is how it turned out. 40% of the time, when she is in the main event, she won the match herself. Kagetsu, Momo, and Mayu is the most impressive since they had such a large number of matches, and still made such a large win percentage. The biggest shock, though, is Saki at number 4. Out of all of her main event matches in the last 2 years, she personally won 31% of them. I never would have guessed that, and I'm a huge Saki fan. Total win percentage. Next, in this category, this will be the percentage of times they were on the winning side in the main event. So anytime Saki or Arisa teamed with Mayu and Mayu got the pin, then they would have gotten a win by association. Number 10 is a tie between Andres Miyagi and Jungle Kyona at 46.67%. Number 9 is Tam Nakano at 50%. Number 8 is Hazuki at 51.28%. Number 7 is Kagetsu at 52.63%. Number 5 is a tie between Hana Kimura and Saki Kashima at 55.17%. Number 4 is Mayu Iwatani at 56.52%. Number 3 is Momo Watanabe at 56.86%. Number 2 is Arisa Hoshiki at 59.09%. Number 1, Utami Hayashishita at 65%. These are all some huge numbers that I didn't expect to be this high. It's crazy that over the last year, if Utami was in the main event, then 65% of the time she and her team won. Looks like Stars and Queen's Quest are the most dominant when it comes to winning main events, which isn't a surprise. Queen's Quest were on top for about a year, and Stars are the go-to winners when it comes to main event group battles when traveling. Losses. Next, we have the total number of times a wrestler personally took the loss for themselves or their team. Number 9 is a tie between Konami and Starlight Kid at 5 losses. Number 8 is Bea Priestley at 6 losses. Number 7, Momo Watanabe at 7 losses. Number 5 is a tie between Jungle Kyona and Natsuko Tora at 8 losses. Number 4 is Saki Kashima at 9 losses. Number 3 is Kagetsu at 10 losses. Number 1 is a tie between Azumi and Hazuki at 11 losses. This hurts. Why you gotta do Azumi like that, Stardom? But it makes sense. Hazuki and Azumi were usually the only people in the matches who could realistically get pinned and not get too affected by it. Plus, it looks like Saki is determined to be in the top 5 regardless of it's good or not, so she has that going for her. Loss percentage. Here we have the exact opposite of win percentage. Basically, anytime a wrestler was responsible for the loss of the match. Number 10, Kagetsu at 17.54%. Number 9 is Jungle Kyona at 26.67%. Number 8, Bea Priestley at 27.67%. Number 7, Hazuki at 28.21%. Number 6 is Saki Kashima at 31.03%. Number 5 is Saya Iida at 33.33%. Number 4, Natsuko Tora at 34.78%. Number 3, Starlight Kid at 35.71%. Number 2 is Leo Onozaki at 50%. And number 1, Azumi at 55%. Seriously, this hurts a lot. If Azumi is in the main event, more than half the time, she is taking the pin. It really sucks being an Azumi fan sometimes. Leo and Azumi getting number 1 and 2 really hurts for the image of Queen's Quest too. Surprisingly enough though, Starlight Kid being number 3 is pretty interesting. I don't really remember her losing that much. Total loss percentage. Last but not least, the total losses percentage. This one is going to be kind of pointless though, as you will see. Number 9 is a tie between Andres Miyagi and Jungle Kyona at 53.33%. Number 7 is another tie between Konami and Bea Priestley at 54.55%. Number 6 is Starlight Kid at 64.29%. Number 5 is Natsuko Tora at 65.22%. Number 4 is Saya Iida at 66.67%. Number 3 is Azumi at 70%. And number 1 is a tie between Hina and Leo Onozaki at 100%. As you can see, the list is stupid and shouldn't exist. Queen's Quest are the top 3. This was really disappointing to see. The fact that 70% of the main events Azumi was in resulted in Queen's Quest losing makes me really sad. This list is pretty much just made up of each group's lowest members, and then B is in there for some reason. Also, Konami losing so much because of her team is kind of her entire story. Then you have Jungle in there, and this list is just downright depressing. So there you have it, the main event masters and losers. There were a couple surprises here and there, but for the most part, the top card held the spots that you would think they would. It is utterly depressing to see Azumi with such a high loss rate when it comes to main events. Hopefully this isn't how it's going to be for the rest of her career, and just a her being too young thing. Starlight Kid had surprising loss numbers as well, as it felt like for the most part she got protected more often than not, so it came as a shock to me to see her be where she was a couple of the times on the lists. It's really hard to pick a main event master as there is so many variables to go by. Kagetsu won a lot and was in the most amount of main events, but she was also pretty high up on the list for total losses. Honestly, it's looking to be a tie between Momo and Mayu. Mayu is higher on every positive list, but Mayu is in none of the negative lists while Momo is in the total losses one. Whether you choose Momo or Mayu as the main event master, I think we can all agree it's a tragedy that the main event loser is Azumi. I regret making these lists.